everybody, and welcome to this interview. I'm joined by another guest, so please give a virtual warm welcome to Angel Collazo. Here he is. There you are, man. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for inviting me, man. It's definitely a pleasure.
You're most welcome. Now, first things first, I do have to apologise that I am wearing a gown. I am sorry about that, but there is a sort of a reason for that. I've been filming a few interviews in this jumper, and I've run out of ways to style it and make it look different. So you've got a gown today, so I'm sorry about that. But halfway through, I can go like this and then that, so it's fine. But, so anyway, away from my fashion disasters, let's talk about you. So please do tell us a bit more about who you are and what do you do.
So basically, I'm 24. I'm from the Bronx, New York, in the United States. You know, my story is pretty deep and pretty long, in my opinion. I'm original background is in personal training. I'm a personal trainer. I always loved fitness. I always loved the idea of helping people. And then that's actually why I started my YouTube. I started YouTube like 2 years ago, and for fitness. And I just decided, you know what, I don't want to do it anymore. And something just clicked this year when I wanted to change it up. And, you know, I wanted to give back. Like, all right, someone needs to hear a message of some sort, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I am in an entrepreneurial training program. And I know not everybody will get access to the program. So I knew this like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old watching YouTube. I know I could affect their life some way, somehow, because the only way we evolve as a human race is by all loving each other and, like, you know, feeling better, being happier. So I was like, you know what, I got to do something to help this. Like, I got to do something to help my community, my world. Let's just put out videos. So I do the YouTube on the side. Basically, my biggest thing is just, you know, just helping people, bro. Like, you can't go anywhere in life, in my opinion, without helping someone. It's the principle of love. You know, you're supposed to love everybody. So
That's amazing. That's such a great principle to base your work of. So I'm assuming that's part of your dream. So that's the next question, really, is what is a big question. What is sort of your main dream and ambition? What are you working towards in the long term?
Oh man, honestly, I just want to live my life. As far as like on a selfish standpoint, a personal standpoint, I just want to live my life. I want to like go out and travel. I want to make sure money is never a problem for me and my family. But I also want to help other individuals learn how to like build assets, how to live their dreams. Like, you know, I'll be honest with you, where I'm from, I don't know if this situation happens like where you guys are from, but the second you say you have a YouTube, like, oh yeah, I do YouTube, it's like, oh, like, you know, like people make fun of that, and it's like, dude, what do you mean? YouTube is changing lives. There's careers starting off of YouTube. Like, what do you mean? So I want to be that one where people, like, the people that don't feel inspired, that get like, you know, where dream eaters come and like take their dreams. I want to be the one to have their back. Like, listen, you good. Like, do what you gotta do, man. Like, this is your dream. No one can tell you anything. So that's one of my dreams. Like, I want to be able to go out. I want to speak on stage, motivational speeches. Want to do fitness blog in the future. Want to have my own fitness clothing line. But I also want to help people do those same things if they really want to, whether it's on a personal level of mentorship or through online. Like, one of my favorite YouTubers, I don't know if you heard of Christian Guzman, but he inspired me to get into fitness.
I haven't, but
yeah, he's a dude. He owns a clothing line. He got big off of YouTube. And that's when I was like, you know what, I want to do workout videos. Like, they look so fun. So that's my dream, like just living life and helping other people live life, and just helping people learn how to live bigger lives than they already are.
that's amazing, because you're being based around giving value and helping people will really give you a much better shot of making that a reality, because you're basing it around helping others, which is normally the secret before you look at yourself, which is great. And I think here I would agree that people aren't especially enthusiastic when you say, yes, I'm doing YouTube, because there's still that sort of stigma about it and people don't really see that it necessarily leads anywhere. But I do think attitudes are slowly changing, because it's becoming so mainstream now. And as you said, a lot of careers have actually launched through YouTube and people are making decent money on it.
Oh yeah. Get this now. One of my friends, right? One of my close friends, she graduated from high school with this dude that's a YouTuber. I always forget his name, but he is Instagram famous. He's YouTube famous. He has a family. he's well known around the world. I just forgot his name. And they went to high school together. They graduated together. And she kind of made fun of him for doing YouTube. And then she was like, you know, I kind of regret because like now I'm
I
here
bet.
living an average life while he's like, and I'm like, dude, that's you should never. And I don't know how we too. You should never criticize anything, man.
That's so true, because you don't know where these people will end up. Like yourself, you're incredibly ambitious, and I'm sure you've had people in your life that have doubted you. And I'm sure it will be the greatest feeling when you get to that point and you prove people wrong. Because I've had that as well. You know, there's plenty of people you can find that just don't think you can do it and don't have faith in your vision. And when it comes true, then they're going to look a bit stupid. But so that's the thing. Helping people and making people look stupid. That's the main driver for all these things. That's good motivation. I like that. That is great. Now, I wanted to get to the point where if I was ever rejected for like a role in television or something, they'd look back and think, "Oh, we rejected Zach Ascot. Are you insane?" So that's what I'm thinking of. But anyway, that's interesting. So it's good that you want to keep you know, personal training wise, you are a personal trainer. It's nice that you want to keep that going around, you know, adding value and doing motivational speaking. So tell us a bit more about your personal training at the moment. So, you know, what sort of things, what sort of clientele do you deal with?
I deal with a variety of clientele, you know, from younger kids, like training them, helping them get ready for like high school sports, to older people that just want to lose weight or just get fit or just stay moving. To be very honest with you, I've been doing this for about 3 to 4 years, but I slowly like I'm transitioning to online training because like I do love personal training, but I don't want to do it for the rest of my life, you know. Like I'd rather move online, and it all comes down because I want to live my life, you know. Like don't get it wrong, I want to help people, but I want to live my life too. But I want to live my life in the sense that motivates people. Like my dream is just bigger than just personal training, just helping people physically. And with the way like technology is now, with the way social media is now, like we have a huge network. Like look how we networked. Like we on like the complete opposite of the world, dude. And you're helping me live a dream, and I'm helping you some kind of way. Like we're literally helping each other, and this is what I love. You know, this is how I want to network. I want to network with people around the world. So personal training is dope. You know, I work Sunday through Fridays. I used to work 7 days a week. And, you know, they say New York is the city that never sleeps. And I always questioned it until I grew up, and I'm like, yeah, I never sleep. Like, I get it now. Like, always on the grind.
That's great to hear, man.
Yeah, it does get frustrating, though, because you do get those people that, you know, just, they do whatever you say, they listen, but then when I'm not around, like, when it's time to go home, it's like all the responsibility, all the, like, oh, I don't need to be responsible no more goes out the window, and it's like, ah. But, you know, I've built some amazing relationships with my clients. Like, I've met, like, really, really dope people. And sometimes I question, like, why is this a profession? Like, why is this a profession? Like, this is so cool. It's just
so that's great, because you're going to actually become probably a very valuable person in the world. You can help people physically and mentally. That's brilliant. Both.
Yeah, that's the plan right there, man. You just said it. That's the plan.
I might as well give up now. I can't do that.
Nah.
That's good, man. It's helping people fit. And I like what you said earlier, that you sort of want to be, you know, when people are criticised about their dreams and things, you want to be sort of like the go-to guy people can point at and say, you know, look at Angel, look at what he says and what he does, and that really will mean a lot of people who are struggling and need to look at a you know, a good influence. So I think that's really great. You want to be that sort of representation, and that's really inspiring. And I in some ways want to embody that as well. I just want to sort of show what's possible and inspire through that.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely think you can, man. You've done it. Like, dude, the second you wrote me, I was like, I feel like I made it in a way. I was like, oh, man, this is dope. Like, I'm getting the chance to hopefully touch somebody in your life that you know, like people as watching your vlogs. It's like, dude, this is dope. Like, what you're doing is so freaking dope, man. Like, I love it.
Well, I want to give people like yourself a voice, because smaller creators who are up and coming, very rarely get a chance to share their thoughts. And I think it's the most interesting area of YouTube because all of you, you know, people, you're creative, you've got big dreams, and you're up and coming. And why shouldn't people hear about what you've got to say? And when you get to where you want to go, looking back at interviews like this is going to be amazing because people are just going to see just how far you've gone.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and they're going to see I haven't progressed at all, but that'll be fine.
Dude, I can't wait to see what your channel looks like in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. I can't wait, man. It's gonna be exciting.
Thank you. Well, you're most welcome to come back and we can talk again and see how you're getting on with all your things. So that'll be exciting.
Definitely.
So personal training wise, like exercise, I don't go to a gym as such. I sort of have a home gym and I've got a regular exercise routine. And I probably could do with a personal trainer because I've had to learn a lot of hard lessons myself, you know, like bad form and, you know, overcoming a few things. But I found that through that discipline of exercise, it sort of taught me a lot of important life lessons. Do you sort of share that exercise, you know, translates to teaching good life lessons?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So first of all, health is wealth. Health, I believe, there's 12 riches in life. Health, I believe, is the third one. Positive manner attitude is the first one. Exercising, getting just fit, whatever it is, whatever you like, jogging, yoga. I personally do yoga from time to time. Weightlifting, whatever it is, it's a way to get away from your anxiety. Sometimes get away from depression. It's a great healer, especially when you do body weight. I'm big on like connecting with the earth and connecting with your body. So I believe once you learn how to exercise, especially just using your body weight, you come into a connection with a mind-body connection, and that's when it's hard to explain what a mind-body connection is. I'm still learning that, but in my sense, it's like you come to peace with what your body looks like and what it is and what it can do, and then the two start working together. Because my big thing is I feel like our body is just a shell. Like if you were to take my brain and put it on and like my veins and all that, put it on like a whiteboard and take my mother's, you wouldn't be able to tell which one's a female or male. You wouldn't be able to tell who's who. So I personally feel like there's no such thing as a gender. We're just souls living in a shell. So that's one of the reasons why I think so big with a mind-body connection. You learn how to connect with the body, and it just gets insane, like what your body can do. Um, and just it opened the gate for me as to seeing how my growth went in fitness and how some of my clients' growth went in fitness, where I was like, you know what, I could translate this into motivation, into helping people get inspired. Because you could do the same thing with books, they or audio, listen to audios, watching interviews, watching anything. Just like just like in fitness, as long as you do it consistently, you will have growth and you will become a better and healthier person, whether it's financially, mentally, spiritually, physically. So it's a lot, man. It's a lot that can be done.
I fully agree. It teaches you so much because it's a very important thing, especially if you're trying to get success, that just to be able to have discipline to stick to a routine is difficult for a lot of people. And once you master that, then you can start applying all these good lessons from exercise into like your business and your hustle, I guess. And it really does translate well. You get used to dealing with adversity really, because especially if you start from not being very fit, you have to build your way up and go through all the pain, the aches, the learning, and still stay sort of self-motivated. And it's a pretty special thing. And that mind-body thing, I think, also comes, as you said, you've got to really sort of know yourself well, and through exercising things, you get to know your limitations and what you're sort of built for and everything like that. No, that's really, really interesting, man.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Do you do much stretching, by the way? Because I've found that I've had to do a lot of stretching because I'm quite tight.
So I did I hated stretching, so I decided to try yoga, and it loosened me up so much. I haven't been doing yoga lately. I've just been stretching, but stretching is very like it's overlooked. Like I even overlooked it, man. Like I used to hate stretching. I'm like I really don't want to do this, but it releases so much tension out of your body, which is one of the reasons I got into yoga, because I was like, all right, I could get moving. I feel like I'm doing something, but yoga is way harder than I thought it was. Like yoga is intense, man. Like I was just like, yo, this is crazy. But yeah, like dude, just stretching is one of the. That's actually, I'm glad you reminded me. That's actually another way to release tensions as far as anxiety, depression. Stretching just, it loosens up the body.
Mm. Yeah, it's brilliant, and it's also good for injury prevention because I find when you're tight, you're tight, and if you start lifting things and everything, sort of like it's like shoulder impingements and things. Not that, yeah, it's all like that. You got to, you're supposed to be back and open and everything, and you learn all this the hard way. That's why you need a personal
Yeah.
trainer. So there you go, people, get on with that. But no, I've had to learn all these lessons the hard way. But I'm loosening up everything: my shoulders, my knees, my toes. Even it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got to loosen it all, but and that's good. What you said earlier about you're looking to do more personal training online, because I suppose from a scale point, business wise, it makes more sense because you can only do so, go to so many clients. So if you're doing it online, like a paid service or something, then you can, you've got the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. You got a whole number. You only have 24 hours in a day, so.
Hey, here's could be your special edge. You could show the workout whilst giving a motivational speech. How about that?
Yep.
It might mess up your breathing though, so it'll have to be low intensity. It'll be, you can do your dreams.
Just come on, bro.
That probably won't go well. Then let me consult my list of many questions. So, right. So in one of your videos, you said that you sometimes have to go backwards to go forwards. What did you mean by this?
Oh man, this is something I personally faced where I never wanted to go backwards. I was always scared to take a step back, but sometimes, how can I say this? Sometimes you're climbing the wrong ladder and you have to get off. Because everybody thinks they're climbing the right ladder, but what if that ladder is put on the wrong building?
Yeah.
What if that ladder is like at the top, it's actually nothing, or it's just a wall instead of a building, Sometimes you literally have to get off of the ladder, switch ladders, and go up. Sometimes it's like what I did with the YouTube, I had to, like, I didn't want to stop, but I was like, you know what? I really did not want to stop, but I was like, you know what? I gotta stop and I gotta find something to get me in the motion, settle everything. Because in the future, I want to hire a videographer, do all that, and get a real professional video shots.
Yeah.
So I took that step back, and I ended up, it released a lot of growth within me and just around me. I ended up meeting a friend that introduced me to the entrepreneurial training program. Started going to seminars, conferences, like just associating with a different group of people, different type of group of people. So whenever I say, like, you got to take a step back to move forward, sometimes you literally have to just take a breather. And if you're not seeing growth, or if you're seeing slow growth, you got to take a step back, go to the simple things, go back to the simple things. And sometimes you might have to, like, literally cut something off. And it's sometimes the stuff that we love the most that we got to cut off in order to move forward. But the best way I could put it is, like, let's say you climbing the ladder analogy. What if you're just climbing the wrong side of the ladder? What if you're just climbing and at the top is just actually a wall instead of a building, like a ceiling you can stand on?
That's so true. It's so much sort of about self-honesty as well. But I think that's a real thing that holds people back. To go backwards, to go forwards, first you have to sort of recognize the problem and sort of say, like, I'm not doing enough, or I'm doing the wrong thing. And that's very hard for people to accept. But to be honest, their long-term results are hindered as a result if they don't fully accept their shortcomings and readjust. So that's a brilliant way of explaining it that you've said about the buildings and the ladders. And but it's just for people to take those hard sort of looks at themselves and sort of just really be honest and try and move forwards from that. But it's easier said than done, because nobody wants to say, I'm not doing enough. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
nobody. That's a tough road. And I think going back to exercise again, I've found that I've had to, like, take my exercise routine backwards a bit and slow things down, because I was sort of cheating myself by doing things a little bit faster but breaking form. You know what I mean? Like,
that's another great analogy.
It's so true, because I was in denial. I was thinking, well, I don't want to go backwards. I'm great. I can do these reps, but they were rubbish reps. They were sort of rubbish. But then I've slowed everything down. It's a bit of ego as well. I think you've got to get rid of the ego, but when you do slow it all down and you get better, you build it up again, the results are so much better.
Oh yeah,
So,
I agree.
and let me just take a minute to say to everybody who is watching this, please do check out your channel. I have left the link to it in the description, so please do check you out. You're adding so much value already with your videos. They're fascinating to watch, such in-depth information, and your journey is very interesting. So it's definitely worth keeping a look at on your journey. So please do check you out on that. So next question, these are quite big questions because you're a deep person. So, right, so this is the next big question. On your channel, you've also spoke about mental freedom. So how would you sort of define that, and how did you end up having mental freedom? Big question, I know.
Yeah, so to be honest, I'll start off with how I got it. It was my association who was I around, because in my deepest times, like my closest friends now, which again, it all goes back to the entrepreneurial training program. My friend brought me to a world I had never even seen. And it literally is just a group of people lifting each other up. And I've been in my darkest times, and they've had my back, like through my darkest times, to pick me back up, always suggesting books, always suggesting audio. So on a daily basis, just listening to audios, at least one audio a day, a self-help, motivation, whatever it is, and reading self-help books and people skills books, because this world revolves around people. Um, it's funny because growing up, I hated reading, but September 1st of 2018 to this day, I've read over 40 self-help books,
Oh,
and that's the
wow.
most books I've read ever in my life. So I'm just like, dude, I can't believe I fell in love with reading. But that's one of the reasons I ended up getting mental freedom through the reading, listening to audios, and my association, because it's all of knowledge of lifting you up. You learn from books. Books are treasures to me. Like it has the secrets. Audios, your mind is just getting fed so much. If you really think about it, what is your subconscious mind listening to on a daily basis, or reading or hearing, whatever it is? Usually it's a lot of negative, sadly, in this world. That's why, like, people don't realize that. Now you flip it, you read daily, whether it's 15 to 30 minutes a day from a self-help book. You listen to at least one audio, your subconscious mind is getting fed positivity. So now that kind of switches the game up, because now you're learning more about yourself. And personally, I've said this in the video, I think, in my opinion, you are mentally free when you are completely happy of where you are, no matter what your situation is, when you're completely happy, but in a humbling way, not just, oh, I'm happy, I don't care about nothing anymore. No, I'm talking about you're happy, you appreciate, you're grateful for everything you have, whether it's freaking broken sneakers, but you can't afford another one, you're still happy with that because you still have sneakers in your hand. You still have something you can walk in, whether it's clothes, whether it's two pairs of shirts only, you're still grateful because you have that. There's people out there that literally don't have that. So I personally think you are mentally free when you can sit down and look around your environment and be grateful for everything, appreciate everything, and still be able to spread love, you know?
That's amazing. That's such a beautiful sort of place to end up. It's something that everybody will say they want to end up there, but they're never normally willing to do what it takes to get there. Just being, grateful for, even if you have less, is difficult for a lot of people because there's so much sort of entitlement in the system, and it's that perspective. And I think that's brilliant. It's very true. It's about the environment. What you're consuming on a daily basis is very important. So that's another reason to subscribe to you, because
Thank you. Yeah, but it's just like that. Like, people are listening to your interviews, and they're getting fed positivity. They don't even realize this, but your subconscious mind, when someone watches your video, their subconscious mind is automatically seeing and hearing the fact that you got out your comfort zone and you started your YouTube channel. That's what happened with me. Like, that's how I started my YouTube. That's how I quit, and that's how I got back. Like our subconscious mind is constantly being fed. So
yeah. And we're giving off some good vibes right now. So I would say I think your journey to mental freedom was actually slightly different to mine. I like to think I pretty much am mentally free. That doesn't mean brainless. I'm basically. I find my personal definition, whether you're interested or not, is of mental freedom is that running out of questions. That's where I've got to the point. I feel I've run out of big questions, which is interesting, and also I found the way I got to mental freedom was obviously I have looked at self-help books and I consume a lot of video content, not as in depth as books, but I found I had all the right ideas of what success took, but I never had that path to actually go and do it. So the way I actually managed to get over all my baggage and things, mentally and things that were holding me back was I first had to construct the dream that I wanted and then an actual plan to get there. Not just saying I want to be a successful YouTuber. That wasn't enough. It needed to actually be a plan that I could see happening. And then once I constructed this plan, I suddenly could see, wow, all my big dreams are possible. And here's actually a plan that I could do. I could do this. So that gave me the motivation to overcome every single issue I had. And because there was no excuse then, there was a plan. I could go and do that. Now, I'm sorry about making it about me, but I just thought it was interesting to share that.
I'm telling you, someone needs to hear this. Someone out there needs to hear what you're saying, man. Someone has to. And I'm glad that I was able to bring it out, because that right there, to me, we just took a huge step forward to the next evolution of life. And people just don't know it. Like, it's just, it's bigger than us. So I'm glad you got to say that, bro. Like, I'm really happy.
Well, thank you. You have enabled it, so that is your bit for the day. But it's just so true, because to me it forced me to face every sort of inner demon I had, because I had the motivation to get over it. There was this big thing I could do, and it was possible because I'd planned it in depth, and all I had to do was get over myself. And that's easier than done. But when you have the motivation to do it, you're forced to take all these things head on, and that's been my personal trip to mental freedom. But yours is just as relevant, and I hope people can do it your way, actually, because my way was quite painful.
I can imagine. I'm just I thought about it too. I'm glad you said that also, because now I know what to go to my girlfriend too. Because sometimes this is another example of taking a step back to move two steps forward. Take a step back, move two steps forward. Sometimes whatever we do now isn't working, so even I'm gonna go do what you say, because sometimes you never know, it may help for me. What I've done before has benefited me tremendously, but what you said, what your plan is, could be the same thing that helps me like make a huge jump. So, and that's just to say it out. It's cool. I don't know if you're watching this video. I don't know, Zach, if you read it. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He says the mastermind principle, and what we are basically doing is the mastermind principle. So we're feeding off each other, we're saying stuff, and we actually gave birth to another brain where me and you, whenever we have no question, no answers, we could pull off of that brain and get the answer. So we're basically we gave birth to a third brain for our whole YouTube community. So I'm glad you said that, man. That's so dude, that's amazing.
That is amazing, because we've combined both of us, which both have very good experiences and knowledge, and we've actually made it better for people. So that's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
And I'm so pleased to say that you might have a look at what I've said in that respect, because I do find that once you actually prove to yourself your dreams are possible and you plan things that you could actually see yourself doing, you're given such motivation to get over anything that's in your way. You really are. And it's just one of those things. So, well, thank you. That's brilliant. So let's move on to the next thing. So this is another big question. Purpose-wise, sort of, how did you come across your purpose? Another big question.
Dude, I think that was the hardest question for me to answer for the past couple of years, because I personally feel like us finding our purpose is extremely hard.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel like I haven't found my purpose, but I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. And I purposely believe that everyone around us, it was written in our destiny for this to happen, whether we like it or not. It was everything. The next person that walks by us, it was written in our destiny for a certain reason. So I think my personal purpose in life, and this is what I'm saying because from what I think, my God has clarified me when I asked him this, but it's just to make another living being happy and motivate them, because I want people to be way more successful than me. Like sometimes I want to set the bar and I want people to pass me, and I want to help them pass me, because it's like I said, it's like it helps us evolve. You know, another great book and movie is called The Citizen Prophecy, where that's where I learned what I want to do in life as far as my purpose. Um, and you know, I just kept asking. This is more of a spiritual sense, but I kept asking my God, like, you know, what's my purpose in life? Help me find it. And I was slowly getting signs, but I didn't want to accept it until I realized, like, you know, I never felt so full in helping other individuals and speaking what's in my mind. And as soon as I started hearing people, you know, like but my old Instagram, I used to just throw out motivational speeches. I had people in the street stop me before, like, dude, I love what you're doing. I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, like what? Like, um, but it's stuff like that where I realize my purpose in life is just to make whoever's watching this video, you know, just to make your life better. Hopefully make your life too better, Zach. Hopefully you know, hopefully you could take something from me
I
that
can.
ends up making your YouTube channel as best as like possible, you know, like just at the same level as some of the top interviewers out there. Um, but I truly believe that this is my purpose in life. And the only reason I got to it, to be honest, is just growing myself and staying in connection with God through the hard times and through the good times, no matter what. But that was my, you know, that was my journey. That's, you know, a lot of people's journey is going to be completely different.
That's amazing. I've given you such a hard question there, and you've answered it utterly brilliantly. So thank you for sharing that. And you know, it's such a selfless approach to try and add all this value, and it's also in line with what you like, and you really are on the right route to sort of happiness and fulfillment there, and also having a big impact. And that's really great. That's you can't beat that, really. I like to think I'm in a similar boat, that I'm trying to have impact as well. It is all about impact, and that's brilliant. So moving on, I think the questions are getting less deep now, so you'll be relieved to hear. So since you are a very knowledgeable person and you've consumed a lot of books, have you ever thought of writing one in the future?
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. The past 2 years I've been thinking. It's funny because before I got into reading, people were telling me, dude, you gotta write a book. And I was like, man, I'm not even reading a book. What makes you think I'm gonna write a book? Got into the reading and I'm like, oh man, I gotta write a book. I wanna write a book. Like I really wanna write a book. And I'm going to hopefully I'm gonna start within the next 2 years. I got
Yeah.
a couple plans set up for the next 2 years. Gonna be searching for a publisher with probably around 2021, 2022, around there. And just figure out a game plan with some of my mentors.
Yeah. Well, if you build more of your YouTube audience, you'll have more leverage in terms of publishing. And I'm so pleased you said you are writing a book, because, well, you will be, because when I consumed all your content, I thought, this guy has to write a book. Please do this. You need to do that. So, yes, please do that in the future. Interestingly enough, I am writing a book at the moment, but it's not. It's basically a dream finding book, how I basically found mine and how other people can do it themselves. And the problem with me is that I'm not really liking writing in a traditional sense, that hitting these enormous word counts is sort of diluting my message, if that makes sense. You know, it's stretching it out, and it's just becoming rubbish. You know, I could write a really solid paragraph that has so much value, and then if I've got to stretch it over 3 pages, it just becomes rubbish. So,
Yeah.
but
Dude, when you're done with that, send it off, please. Send it
I
off.
am. I'm just going to. That's the thing I've got to now. I basically said this book is going to be very valuable to people. I don't care about the rules. I'm going to break them. This is my impact. There you go. And I'm going to be progressively releasing that on YouTube as well. And that's the thing. When you start writing, I think you should make videos around, you know, like subjects in the book, and that'd be great. So, fellow writers, that's good. We can compare publishing deals, can't we?
Definitely, bro.
That'll be good. Right, so let's see where we are on this book that is not going to be published. So, right, and oh yeah, we're on to the last 2 questions. So this is something I thought would be interesting to ask you, as you are a deep, thoughtful person. Do you think reputation is slavery?
Yes. Yes. I truly do. Just because everybody is, I was a victim of it. I would definitely tell you, and this was one of the reasons why I actually stopped the other YouTube. We get all this, social media has been a problem. A lot of people think, I used to think social media was a problem because it's where it originated from. But perspective is everything, but you have to learn how to have the right perspective.
Yeah.
My perspective was that social media it causes people to get like manipulated, like brainwashed, but it's not. It's actually an opportunity to grow and help other people. Once your perspective changes everything, but everybody is trying to just get love, because that's the thing. Everybody wants the fulfillment of love. That's why a lot of people want to get Instagram famous, YouTube famous, Facebook famous. And I think that's where it becomes slavery, because their minds become a slave of other people's, because now they can't even control their emotions. They just worry about getting the likes and stuff. I hope I'm going in the right direction, by the way. Like, as far
Yes,
as
you are.
okay, cool. But yeah, I definitely think reputation is slavery, because I was there once. At one point in high school, I was kind of like Instagram famous, and it got me known around the streets. And then
Yeah.
I had a scary moment in time when I was walking and I heard someone call out my Instagram name. This was years back, and I was like, all right, this is getting kind of creepy now. Like, I'm gonna like, nah, like. But it was just at that I was so consumed in getting likes and stuff, and then once I got it, I thought I was like the man. I was still humbled and stuff, but I also felt like, like I'm the man. Like, nah, it's I didn't make no impact with that. I didn't make no impact just having a reputation. Like, if I want a reputation, I want a reputation of like gifting and loving. Like,
Yeah.
like you those dudes. And it's just crazy how the world works, man. Like, I personally think his reputation is a safe. So if people do feel like, like they're consumed by it, I would say do a social media detox. That's what I did. Just cut off all social media and then just focus on yourself, man. Like, just, but that's the only way. That's another addition to being mentally free. If you truly do want to be mentally free, if you want to grow spiritually, if you want to find your purpose in life, you have to get away from the kind of reputation, like just being a slave to reputation. Like, just stop being the main picture. Like, just
Yeah,
stop.
that's amazing. I'm glad you're in agreement, because I do agree that reputation is slavery as well, because it's not just a reputation, it's basically other people's opinions you're a slave to. That's basically what it is. And I think it can be very restrictive, because it basically will stop you from doing anything out of the ordinary that goes against your old sort of thing that you have to hold on to so much. And if you don't love also what's given you a reputation, then that's really trapping you.
Yep.
So that's why I try and have no reputation. If not a bad one, then there's the only place is up. No.
It's just how you look at it. It's just really how you look at it, man. I still
Respect.
agree with.
What would your advice be to people who want to start their journey of personal development and growth?
So definitely look for someone that's in a better position than them. Like, if you're watching this, please look for someone. And honestly, hopefully, because there are gonna be people that skip the whole interview. So if you come across, like, because I usually do that, I'm not gonna lie. But if you end up coming across this section, please, please, please find someone that's in a better position than you, that's living the lifestyle you want, that has everything you want in a way, or something you want, and ask for advice, like, on that specific topic. And then start off with, reading at least 15, 30 minutes a day, listening to at least one audio a day, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's from 5 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour, whatever it is, just do it. Keep getting your mind fed, and do exactly what Zach said, as far as like, just write out your plan, write out everything, and get to the point where you can't ask questions anymore. Where you just gotta look at it and be like, all right, it has to be done. But the biggest thing is association. Sometimes, like, you don't have to cut people off. I thought I had to cut people off, but you just gotta disassociate, as in, like, talk to people less and less, and it could be your closest friend that could be dragging you down, and that's the scary thing about life. Um, but yeah, just go out, find someone, find a mentor, and build relationships. Don't be scared to love. Don't be scared to give. Whether people throw it in your face, throw it in the ground, forget it, man. Just let their life go the way it's gonna go. As long as you keep showing love to yourself, and, like, when I mean love, I don't mean just, be happy. I mean literally teaching yourself. That's love, when you teach. Um,
Mm.
once you find that, like, once you get in settlement with that, and feel free personally, like, to shoot me or Zach an email or on a comment, just dude, ask anyone. There's someone out there on YouTube that wants to help, man. You just never know. Like, just get out your comfort zone and go do it. Like, so
That's
you don't got to do it by yourself.
That's such an amazing answer with so much value there. And that's true. You can send both of us messages. We will reply and we will be helpful. And no, that's truly brilliant. And of course, people should have a look at your channel if they want to get some positivity. And environment really is the first step. If it's not in your life as it is, you have to consume content that is valuable and has a positive message. And then the process starts of introspection and then finding out what you really want. And then you're off. But Angel, thank you so much for that lovely advice. And thank you so much for the entire interview. You've added so much value. This has been a very interesting conversation that I'm sure my audience has fully enjoyed. And it'd be great to have you again in the future sometime. And I wish you all the luck with all your ventures. I'll be keeping an eye on your YouTube channel. And thank you so much. And well, there you go.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's really a pleasure. Just, like I said, you sending me off that email was like, it made my week, it made my month, it made me extremely happy. And I hope, like, whoever's watching this, I hope we can make an impact in your life, And I can't wait to see your channel grow, man. I'm excited for that. Like, this is because
so
what
much.
you're doing is amazing. This is something, I'll be honest with you, this is something what I wanted to do. But I never had, like, the thought of, like, man, how I'm going to do this. So for you to be doing this, trust me, you've inspired me, bro. Like, you've inspired me.
Well, if you do it, make me your first guest. How about that?
Of course, bro. What? We would, yes. Yes.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. It's brilliant. I'll say goodbye. Thank you so much, man.